Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of The Fishing Teacher, and thanks a lot for making some time out of your day to check the video out. It's always appreciated. And guys, today we're going to be giving some tips and advice on fishing bright lures, when you want to use them, under what conditions they work at. I think it's going to surprise you a little bit as far as the versatility of these things, so we're going to get into that in today's video. Also guys, I'd just like to invite everybody out there, if you haven't had a chance, to consider subscribing here to The Fishing Teacher. It's a good way to support the channel, and also consider becoming a channel member of The Fishing Teacher. That's a good way to help the channel out too. And you can become a member by simply clicking on the join button on the my Fishing Teacher YouTube homepage, and that gives you the information. So much appreciated there. Okay guys, bright lures, man. When you look at a lure like this, first thing you're going to notice is like, why would a bass hit this? This does not look like anything. Let's say, for example, if you got a swim bait like this. I mean, now you can see why a fish might hit something like this. It actually looks like some type of a fish, but when you put something like this up next to it, it doesn't look anything like a fish. So you have to ask yourself, what motivates a bass to hit something this bright and gaudy looking like that? Now, a lot of it has to do with it's the predatory reflex of a fish, as far as what triggers a fish to bite a lure or not. And one of we talked a little bit about this before, but here on the Fishing Teacher, we're trying to keep it a little bit more basic for guys just starting out fishing. One of the things you have to realize when you're talking about this is that fish feed very little overall. It's like when you catch a fish, most of the time, they're not hitting that lure because they're hungry. I think that most bass specifically feed at night, and I think the ones that you catch in the daytime, they bite a lure out of other instincts, like the reflex instinct, curiosity, anger, competition, all that type of stuff. And that's when a bright lure like this is going to work good, because it triggers those impulse strikes that aren't related to feeding. Specifically, some type of an aggressive, curious reflex, instinct with that. That's why they bite these things. It's not because they think it's food, because they know better. There's nothing in nature that looks like that's edible. So you're triggering a different response on them, and it doesn't really matter as long as you hook the fish, it's okay. So when do you want to use these things right here? Right off the bat, it's pretty obvious, guys. This is designed to be used in low light conditions. The exception being if you're fishing smallmouth bass. Now, smallmouth bass will hit these brighter lures a little bit more aggressively in brighter, light level conditions. But as far as using these super bright lures like this for largemouth bass and spotted bass and that type of stuff, you got to have low light, and that not just low light, but you have to have low light and low visibility. The low light being like cloudy, windy days, early or late in the day, and dirty water. This is a dirty water color, again, unless you're fishing for smallmouth. It'll work in clear water, but when you're fishing for largemouth and spotted bass, which most people that bass fish do, you have to focus on dirty water. And when I'm throwing something this bright, this real pearl looking chartreuse, I want water visibility of less than 12 inches. So I'm looking for that water visibility of like 4 to 12 inches primarily before this works. Now, if you have water visibility, say 15, 20 inches like that, it can also work if the water, the light levels are really, really low. And we've got the chickens invading the tackle ring here. Go on, go on. Hey Elijah, you want to get the chickens out of here?
No, the chickens out of the house.
Dang, chickens come in the garage all the time and they poop in here, so I'm trying to get them out. But anyway, you can increase your conditions that you can catch fish on these bright lures if you have a cloudy, windy, rainy day in a little bit cleaner water. But ideally, this is a muddy water deal. And my favorite thing to do, like I said, if you've got water visibility of about 4 to 12 inches and you're fishing it around shallow water targets like lay down trees in the water, stumps in the water, rocks, that type of stuff, in fairly warm water. You're going to find out also that bright lures like this work better if the water temperature is over 70 degrees. So anyway, guys, the next time that you're in a condition where you got muddy water, you got water over 70 degrees, get something like a bright pearl or the pearly chartreuse like this, something that really stands out, and it really helps trigger those reaction strikes from fish that would not hit anything else. A lot of times when it's dirty, guys, you can't get any bites on anything but this. I was actually fishing the one of those tournaments we fished at Lake of the Ozarks last month, and the area that I was fishing, that was the back of this creek, the water was real muddy, like 4-inch visibility muddy, and the only thing I could get them to hit was this bright chartreuse pearl on a swim jig. They wouldn't hit anything else, even a black one. They wanted that bright color in that dirty water. So anyway, just something to add to your arsenal, guys. So give it a try, and I hope it helps out. We'll talk later. See you.